Pit maneuvers like this one are considered deadly force, and while Arkansas State Police are turning to these more often, records we obtain show training is not happening at the same pace. We told you about pit maneuvers in our several recent Fox 16 investigates. Our coverage of a pregnant woman's lawsuit after a trooper pitted her car, causing it to flip, made international headlines. Tonight, our Susan L. Corey takes a closer look at what happens before a trooper is licensed to use this kind of deadly force.
In my head, I was gonna lose the baby.
Intentionally hitting and spinning out drivers. Arkansas State Police troopers use this deadly force, called a pit maneuver, to end high-speed chases. So common, last year we found they happened once every 3 days.
Okay, well, this is what happens when people don't stop for us.
We searched hundreds of police records and found over 4 years troopers attempted or used pit maneuvers at least 306 times. Almost half of those were last year. Turns out training isn't as frequent. State police use Stuttgart Municipal Airport as a test track. Recruits learn here, and there's also yearly training. We asked how many hours are spent on pits. State police never answered and don't want to talk to us about those sessions. For weeks, we called ASP.
I had some questions about pit maneuvers.
Again and again.
Can we observe training?
But each time didn't get far.
So the answer is no comment for today?
Eventually, a spokesman emailed this explanation, saying, while there is a pending lawsuit relating to the use of pit, Arkansas State Police personnel cannot, at this time, accommodate your request for an interview. So we asked for all training material from the past 4 years and got back slideshows for recruits. Each year include this slide, calling pits a safer way to terminate pursuits. That is until this year, when the slide was removed. The presentation goes on to list 7 things to consider, including severity of crime. Of the at least 306 cases we uncovered, almost half started as minor traffic violations, ranging from speeding to improper lane change. That was the case here, when Senior Corporal Rodney Dunn tried to pull over this driver for speeding. Within 2 minutes, he used a pit maneuver, which caused the SUV to crash into a concrete median and flip.
Are you the only one in the vehicle?
Yes!
Okay.
We introduced you to Nicole Harper last month. She's the driver who's now suing state police.
Why didn't you stop?
Because I didn't feel like it was safe.
Well, this is where you ended up.
Her suit points to the dash camera video showing she tried to find a safe place to stop on a highway with a reduced shoulder and miles from the next exit.
We call it a pit maneuver when people flee from us or don't stop from us. That's what happened.
Back in the classroom, recruits are taught there's no limit on speeds, and a reasonable safe speed is determined by the officer. That doesn't line up with this suggested practices we found from the Arkansas Association of Chiefs of Police, and ASP is a member. It recommends capping pit speeds at 45 miles per hour unless deadly force would be justified. Records we searched showed state police are going much faster, with most pits happening above 60 miles per hour and some topping 100.
How fast were you when you pitted him, Kyle, roughly?
About 120.
Okay. Hey, it is what it is. We can't dictate that.
In this case, 22-year-old Brian Brooks was killed after the pit sent his car airborne into a tree. Brooks is one of at least 5 people killed during pits in the last 4 years. While troopers are taught to consider the risk against the reward, Harper doesn't believe that happened in her case.
I felt like I was doing what was safe.
Questioning if this was preventable.
I was trying to keep us both safe, and I felt like he didn't care at all.
Bottom line, a lot of discretion is up to the trooper, and we found the majority of pits and without anyone getting hurt. Out of the more than 300 pits we looked at, there were 76 hospitalizations in the past 4 years. Of those people, almost all were drivers or passengers in the fleeing car. 4 were troopers, and 1 was a driver who was accidentally hit during the chase. Back to you.